Hello and welcome to the Watchtower, where we talk about your favorite movies and TV shows. I'm Desi.
And I'm Ben. Today we're talking, first we're talking about, the past month of episodes of The Flash, right? Because we haven't talked about that in a while, right? So, yeah, that's a good thing to start off with.
Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, just a number of Flash episodes have been released. Ben, you want to kick us off with some topic you're finding interesting?
Absolutely. So, in the last few episodes, what's happened? There's been Caitlin and Julian, right?
You want to talk about Caitlin and Julian?
Yeah, so my theory is totally getting proven correctly. For first-time viewers, a couple of episodes, ago, I had this theory that, Caitlin and Julian are going to get together, and then Julian's going to die. Cisco is going to become, like, the new Alchemy. Then Cisco and Caitlin are going to get in that fight in the future, right? That's my theory.
Okay, so far, I'm totally with you with this Caitlin and Julian. Well, they already are starting to fall in love.
That's because it's genius.
I don't think it's genius. I think it was pretty obvious. And now I'm just waiting for Julian to die, because I don't see him sticking around. Do you?
Yeah, no, I don't. He's a very expensive actor, right? He's Tom Felton. He played
Draco Malfoy. He's been another. He's been in a number of films too. So,
yeah, I am not a Harry Potter person. I read the books when I was very little.
Okay, but I don't see him sticking around. So I'm just waiting for him to die at this point.
Yeah, me too. I've never really gotten too attached to his character. I think it's
Well, no, because they start off where they want to make you hate him, but now they're trying to make you like him. All of a sudden.
It's just. It's so conflicting, and it has, like, some, probably network mandate at some point, right? You can't have this expensive actor playing a villain. He doesn't want to play a villain. He wants, you know?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Let's move on to, in the past couple of episodes, we've seen a lot of Kid Flash kicking some ass, so...
Yeah, that's true. I like it. Good.
I'm becoming a fan of Kid Flash. I think it's...
Wally becomes more likable every episode.
I can agree with that. That's a very good point. I like the scene with I forget what name they gave him, but the guy that could decompose everything he touched.
I don't even remember that.
It wasn't.
What
really
is that?
Memorable. I just remember when. He could decompose everything he touched, and Wally had to stop him, and he didn't know what to do. And then there's just Barry behind him who circled his fists just in emotion, just to show that Wally should do the same thing. And then Wally circles his fist super fast, and the guy gets blown back and gets knocked out or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that episode. That was good. I like that.
It was a decent episode.
A lot of the Flash episodes recently, I'm always super surprised when this happens in the middle of a season, but it's happened with every season so far. There's just a lot of filler in the middle episodes.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
That episode with the guy that could decompose everything, I think they went to a new level of BS science.
Dude. The whole show, man.
No.
You think particle accelerators actually give you superpowers?
This was a new level. They had Barry phased an entire train.
Yeah, well, what else would you do, right?
I don't know.
No, I like that because I forget. There's I think it's one of the new things. It might be Rebirth, New 52, something. One of the new comics. Flash, so before he couldn't process his speed in his brain, he could only go fast, but now he can process his speed, and he can react as fast as he can, or he can think as fast as he can run, and it just, then suddenly he can go places at the speed of light or whatever. It's kind of stupid, honestly, but there's this. Honestly, it's not a great book, but I thought there was this one scene which was pretty cool where Barry phases a plane in midair and lands it safely. That's cool.
So we're getting to that level of BS science at this point.
Yeah.
And then there was also the episode with Rogue and how she came back to take HR back to Earth 19 and kill him.
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode?
Rogue HR. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So,
I like that episode.
So that was a decent episode. I thought it was fun, but I also thought it was really stupid.
Yeah. It was. I like flirty Cisco. I think that's a fun idea.
I guess. I kind of was. It was a bit cringy at moments. I'm not big on Cisco being a big romantic. It's a little bit cringy. Also, in real life, she would never have been into him. It was.
I don't think she really was. I think that was part of the act. I don't know. I can't rely on Flash to have nuanced character development.
Yeah. So
What do I think this is? Some kind of good TV show?
That's what I would go with. It was a little bit cringy, and I mean overall, I think it was pretty fun though, and I liked it. And then we get to see Rogue later on in the show in the next episodes, but we'll talk about that later. So.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the most recent episode of The Flash. I've been busy, but
you want to talk about the second most recent episode?
So at the end of I don't know, third most recent episode. We're going back in time, folks. Jessie comes in from Earth 2 and she's like, "My dad, he's in Gorilla City. What do I do?"
Yeah.
Wally, you got to help me. And Wally's like, "Hot girl, cool."
So, in the last week's episode, we saw the whole Flash team go into Earth 2 and into Gorilla City to take down Grodd. I actually enjoyed that episode. What did you think, Ben?
I have mixed feelings about it, right? So there's part of me that tells that where I think, yeah, that's good. That's a solid episode of Flash. This is what I always want Flash to be. It was silly. It worked. I think that's, the tone just kind of generally fit that of the show.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that I expected when I started watching The Flash.
Yeah, so it was fun. There were some cool action movie moments, even though there was questionable CGI. But it was definitely overall enjoyable. I like the references. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I'm pretty sure they made references to Planet of the Apes because Tom Felton, who plays Julian, was actually one of the stars in Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I haven't watched the Planet of the Apes movies. I need to.
So they made some references to that, which I liked. Also, the whole idea of Gorilla City was a bit ridiculous, but it was cool at the same time.
I think there's the other train of thought that I generally go with for this episode is that, it's so stupid and the mind control stuff doesn't work and
so
kind of falls flat.
Arguably,
the plot doesn't entirely add up correctly. I think the way they want it to. But the general tone, I think, is the stuff that Flash should usually be.
Yes, it wasn't too serious. And it was just overall more focused on just making a fun episode that was enjoyable, and that's what Flash should be.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for The Flash, unless you want to give your brief opinions on the newest episode.
So, yeah, I'll do that. So on the newest episode, it's when Rogue opens the dimension, and...
You don't have to spoil anything for me.
Okay, no, this happens in the beginning of the episode.
Oh, okay.
So, and...
All right, so there's minor spoilers.
Yeah,
as if we haven't been spoiling the entire series of The Flash.
Minor spoilers for like the first 5 minutes. So, Rogue opens a portal so now Grodd can get to Central City. Now, things I liked about the episode, I think it too, just like the one before it, it was just overall fun and enjoyable. It was a pretty ridiculous concept of making an ape army invade Central City. But
are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, so
oh man.
It was an army of gorillas.
I'm sort of looking forward to this.
It was like an army of telepathic gorillas looking Oh, going to invade Central City. Now that, although it sounds super ridiculous, I really enjoyed it. I just kind of let the part of me that said this is nothing like reality just fade away and just enjoyed the whole entire episode.
Yeah, well, I think that you know, you don't need to like. Generally, it should just be like character motivations that work, right? It doesn't matter how ridiculous the source material is.
Yeah.
You know, and if that works, it could. I wouldn't be entirely surprised. The Flash is usually good, maybe like 1/4 of the time. So,
Okay.
yeah, I've definitely noticed a steady decline in quality since the mid-season
Okay.
episode.
I want to continue about the last episode.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really enjoying, or that I'm liking, is the Wally West and Jesse romance. I think that's honestly probably my favorite couple on the show right now. I know I feel like they're moving way too quick, and the show hasn't given enough like development to it. But I just think it's really awesome, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing. I want to see them fight as speedsters as a couple. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I do like Jessie as a character. I think she is generally likable. And she has more than one dimension, which is more than I can say for a lot of characters on this show.
I was thinking like Earth 1 and Earth 2 dimensions. So
she's been to more than one dimension.
That threw me off.
No, I mean, I think she's relatively three-dimensional. So that's good. I do like the Wally and Jesse romance. I think it works. The two actors definitely have chemistry. The writing is usually good. In the Gorilla City episode, I'm not sure if it was the writing or her acting. It seemed of lesser quality than the other episodes she showed up. So I'm going to assume it was the writing. I think that might just because I generally don't really like the episode, but it was. I just said I generally don't really like it, but it's okay.
Okay.
All right, so do you think we're ready to move on to the next topic?
Let's move on.
All right, so this is going to be I think the rest of the show is going to be entirely X-Men related. Yeah, so...
Oh, wait. Before he's touching the X-Men, do you want to mention the Stranger Things trailer that just dropped?
Oh, yeah. You mean by dropped, you mean about a month ago.
Okay,
yeah.
over the
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
There was a 30-second teaser that dropped, and it looks the same. It's not the same as in the same, but story-wise, it looks like they're just expanding on new stuff, and I'm fine with that. So they really didn't reveal a whole lot of the plot. I think it was more just to get fans like me freaking out. I remember I saw it while watching the Super Bowl, and I was probably just as loud at that trailer as I was throughout the game. So it just made me really excited. They don't really reveal much of the plot. We just see the characters, the boys. We just see them dressed up as Ghostbusters. Maybe it takes place around Halloween. Yeah, I didn't watch the Super Bowl live. I saw it the next day, and I was like, whoa! When did this happen? And then it said October at the end, and I was really disappointed. Usually they drop this stuff like a few months before it happened, so I was like, whoa, are we getting an early release? Nope, it's late.
And then they said everything is turning upside down. And then the last frame was... The last clip, rather, was... I think it was Will. I wasn't quite sure who it was. I think it was Will. It looked like some boy walking out the door, and we just see... it looks like almost the whole world has turned into the upside down, and there's just one giant monster.
Yeah. Did he have a terrible haircut? Oh, wait, that's not really going to differentiate any of them.
But I think that might not even have anything to do with the plot. That might just be Will having one of his upside down flashbacks. or flashbacks into the Upside Down, because I think we're going to see him having to deal with the fact that he was traumatized from being in the Upside Down for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think that's it was definitely a thing in season 1 that I was very much interested in. How is Will affected by any of this? Because he's probably, I guess, besides Barb, who's, I would have liked them to do more with her character since she's not explored whatsoever. I don't quite get the fan following that she's garnered because her character doesn't really have a character. But
it's like a fun thing to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
There is the classic. They have mentioned that they will have justice for Barb.
Yeah, justice for Barb, guys.
I'm not sure what that's gonna mean, but
yeah.
Maybe they'll do something.
Oh yeah, we really should have put a spoiler warning for Stranger Things season 1. Man, I feel like we should definitely start doing spoiler warnings.
Okay.
I feel like we're just being total dicks to our audience.
All right. Let's continue. You want to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy
Here
trailer?
we are wondering why the viewer numbers have dropped.
All right, let's go talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Yeah.
That just released.
I am extremely looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, there's actually 2 trailers that just dropped. There was a Super Bowl one, a month ago.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
there was this one that dropped 2 days ago.
So, yeah, it just looks like a super fun movie, honestly.
Yeah, man. Dude, I get this general vibe from it that it doesn't take any of the story elements from the first movie. Or, I mean, it doesn't, directly copy it like, some movies, I'd say Avengers do. Mm-hmm. Just kind of try to riff on the success of the first film. It seems kind of just to take the general themes of the movie and the general the atmosphere that was associated with the movie and just kind of expand on it, which I am incredibly interested in.
Yeah, totally. One of the things I've been appreciating about the trailer is that even though they've been showing a lot of screen time and a lot of cool looking clips, they really haven't revealed a whole lot of the plot, which to me I think is what a trailer can do. Is a good trailer will not give away too much of the plot, but will still pull you in to really get hyped for the movie. And that's what this trailer is really doing to me right now. Mainly, I think it's just showing you all the characters again and their personalities and getting you all excited about that. In particular, I want to mention Drax looks really awesome in this movie.
I feel like Drax has more of a focus in this movie, and
that's what I was thinking.
His character is really going to get fleshed out because in the first movie we really only learned his family's dead, and that
he takes everything literally, which was great,
which was funny, except it's not exactly 3-dimensional. So maybe I think the one criticism that I really have of the first Guardians of the Galaxy, besides that it follows the Marvel plot structure, which I didn't really have a problem with at the time and still really don't because it takes advantage of it, was that a lot of the characters seem very 2-dimensional. Besides Peter and, I guess Peter. That's it, really. Ronan is just 1-dimensional. He's just, I want to rule the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gamora has, her character's definitely almost there. But besides those two, I wouldn't really say a lot of these characters are well written. They're just kind of, they're things that they're avenues for the writers to tell jokes, which is fine because they all have distinct personalities.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that they can expand on that. And I'm going to go back on that, but I don't think it's quite 2-dimensional. I think it's definitely, it's almost there, but it's not the best writing possible. I think the best comedy comes from when these characters. And I think...
what they are doing is they are at least establishing personalities. Sure, we haven't seen them experience every emotion yet, but I think the fact that they do all have distinct personalities and they're all able to carry on the movie and make it a lot more enjoyable for the audience, I think that's enough to consider it a really good movie.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, it's definitely... It's probably one of my favorite superhero films, up with Civil War, Winter Soldier, and Spider-Man 2. So
yeah, so
Spider-Man.
So this is why we're getting super hyped about the Guardians of the Galaxy film. And at the end, I don't know if you know anything about this, Ben, but at the end we see Peter's father is revealed.
Oh, yeah, I was incredibly happy about that because I was kind of waiting for... I mean, really, it just kind of showcases the actor, which I don't really have a problem with since we already knew that. But I feel like it should probably be a big part of the movie, and really the trailer doesn't do anything besides spread the information, except, we have known a lot about Peter's father that James Gunn has said for a while now, so I hope it's not entirely important to the movie, and it's kind of just an element of it.
Yeah.
And it's not like spoilers and it comes in like that's the end of the movie or whatever, because that would suck. But it's probably not, so there you go. This movie also seems to have an incredibly large cast, right?
It really does, yeah. Hopefully, because I feel like oftentimes when a movie has a really large cast, it can be hard to actually show enough of each of the characters and essentially make it a good movie or enjoyable.
Yondu and Nebula are both joining the cast this time.
As well as we have a new
character named Mantis, who I don't know anything about from the comics. Apparently she can like sense people's feelings.
Yeah, that was in the last trailer.
Yeah, it was,
the Galaxy. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah,
either.
I'm not a Guardians of the Galaxy fan in the comics. I don't know, I read a book at some point, but I think Brian Michael Bendis, who's the current writer, I think his writing style isn't the best for them. He generally just tries to imitate the movies, which is good, which is weird because he's a very talented writer. But I guess he doesn't have any creative ideas for it.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of put on the book. So there you go. But, I always look forward to, I always look forward to Marvel's new interesting ideas. And I think this one is definitely going to be good. So, yeah.
All right. I don't have anything else to say. You want to move on?
Yeah, sure. So, for the last 15 minutes of the show, I think we're going to talk about X-Men, right? So,
sure.
Yeah, let's have a general discussion about the X-Men movie series in honor of Logan coming out tomorrow, which we will probably have a discussion of next week.
Yep.
So, tell me or have you even seen the first X-Men movie?
I have not actually seen it.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing with your life?
I've seen all the other ones. I just never really bothered to see the first one.
That's weird. It's also not unexpected because it's not amazing. The first X-Men movie has a cultural significance because people always say that, Spider-Man 2002 is what brought superhero movies back into popular culture, except it's really wasn't. X-Men and even Blade before that definitely got people ready for it. So people always really exaggerate like the death of superhero movies in 1998 with Batman and Robin, right? Mm-hmm. They always say, "Oh man, it was so long. It was like 4 years." No, it wasn't. Blade came out like a year later, and everybody loved it. Yeah. X-Men, the first X-Men, which we will probably spoil the whole series, by the way. Any X-Men Wolverine film, if you care about it, gone in 15 minutes.
Okay.
So,
you've been warned.
Yeah. It's good. It's, if I'm going to rank the X-Men films, I'd probably put this one as one of the meh ones, probably right next to Apocalypse. Which, I don't have a ton to say about the first X-Men film. I think it has a lot of cultural significance, but isn't a fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. It definitely... What it did get across well is the teenage home, basically the imitation of Harry Potter, right? That they did.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of teenagers in a school for gifted people. It's executed so fantastically well in this. They also doubled down on the what is it? Not representation. Metaphor of the X-Men being like minorities, right? They just kind of went for it, which is very well done. That the whole oppression that just it's an element of the movie that just works. Unfortunately, I don't think the plot works very well in the first movie, and it just kind of started the whole bandwagon. And something about the X-Men movies that I find very impressive is that they've been going since, when did it come out? 1999, 2000. The first movie, they've tried so hard not to reboot it, and I really appreciate it. And I think Logan, if it's done well, I think they can end it and kind of soft reboot it for the next movie.
Sure. You want to move on to X-Men 2?
Yeah, sure. Since you've actually seen this one, why don't you give your opinions?
All right. So my first opinion on X2 is, I think, considering the time it was made, I think it's just a really good movie. I like the way I think it was good, well paced. I like it starts straight up with the action. We see Nightcrawler kicking ass in the White House, and then
dude, I always forget about that scene, but I love it.
That was a great scene. I love Nightcrawler too. He's just so cool.
Yeah.
But and then they get into the whole plot, which is just about the mutants being oppressed and how they're gonna fight and stuff.
Yeah, you know what's weird about X-Men 2?
What?
It's not actually called X-Men 2, it's called X2,
Yeah,
X-Men United. I guess that was so they didn't have to put X-Men twice in the title. But I also don't understand why it's called X-Men United. Weren't they also united in the first movie?
Yeah.
There was no Civil War style beatdown happening.
So overall, I think X2 is just a great superhero movie. I do too. I really like the action. I don't really remember it so well because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
But I just remember liking it, and it was very entertaining.
2002 to 2004 was just great for superhero movies. Not only because not a lot of them really came out, but I mean, what happened, right? There was Batman Begins. I think that came out in 2002.
I think it was 2005.
2005. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna expand my time frame to 2005. In my opinion, that's the best Dark Knight movie.
I disagree, but let's not get into that right now.
You had Spider-Man, you had Spider-Man 2, you had X-Men 2. I just love it. It's great, period. You had that whole, we're sort of taking ourselves seriously, but not too seriously thing going on.
Yeah.
This is a nice middle ground. I mean, obviously, right now we also have that, but...
You want to move on to X-Men 3 now?
Sure. I don't have detailed opinions about X-Men 2, except I just really like it as a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember it too well. So
X-Men 3, however, I don't like it.
It was iffy. It was I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the whole Phoenix thing. I think that could have been done a lot better.
Yeah, and I hope they do it better in the next X-Men film, which is rumored to be called X-Men Supernova, which sounds good. And the description that they've come out for it with is sounds really cool. Like, it begins with after tons of missions in space, the X-Men come back to Earth and Jean Grey is all possessed and stuff. That sounds cool. I like that. That's good. I don't read a ton of X-Men comics. I am reading the current stuff, except I've not read all the stuff way back when. I've never read the Dark Phoenix saga, but I've thought about it a lot, and I feel like there's definitely not a way you can do it that's good. I think you need to change major elements of it, and I think actually Bryan Singer did attempt to, except he kind of he took away Jean's agency when he did it, which isn't good. The Dark Phoenix saga actually has in my opinion, has a bit of, underlying sexism whenever it's played out, and I hope they can avoid that this time. So, yeah.
Well, let's go back to X3.
Yeah.
So I think overall that was just, I don't think it was terrible. I think it was just mediocre.
Yeah,
I think it definitely could have been done better, but it's just a movie. That's what I'm going to say to it. It's just a movie. It's just a movie.
Desi, we should critique art. we should just settle for this crap. We should rise up.
All right, let's move on to. You want to go on to First Class next?
X-Men Origins Wolverine was actually the next film, yeah?
All right, we'll talk
Yeah.
about X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, I think me and Ben have different opinions here.
Yeah, I think we do.
Ben's with the more common opinion that
I think it's bad. I think it's a bad movie.
it's.
Desi thinks it's okay.
I think my opinion on it is that it's really not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. I think the main reason people hate it so much is just because they screwed Deadpool. They screwed up Deadpool. And don't get me wrong, I really hate how they screwed up Deadpool. But I think if you ignore that fact and look at the rest of the movie, you'll think about it differently. Like, hey, this wasn't too bad after all. I think the action scenes were pretty cool. Hugh Jackman, as usual, did a great performance as Wolverine. And I think overall it's not that bad. It's decent. What do you have to say, Ben?
I disagree. No, I actually don't really remember X-Men Origins Wolverine that well. I did a pretty good job of erasing it from my mind. The last time I saw it was about 2 years ago. I just don't remember liking it. I remember kind of laughing at it being a bad movie. And I probably do need to see it again. I think the Sabretooth Wolverine thing was a bit weird. They're not brothers. I don't think that part of the movie works very well. And they did screw up Deadpool.
Yeah.
And, I don't entirely have a problem with it, except it doesn't work inside the movie either.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the main reason why that movie's so disliked. Is just because...
Well, of course it is. People love Deadpool.
They
made a movie about it. It sold millions of dollars.
See, yeah. So that's why I think Deadpool. That was terrible. But I think aside from Deadpool, I don't think it was that bad of a movie.
Yeah, I can't wait for Deadpool 2, the Deadpooling.
So you want to move on to the next X-Men movie?
Oh boy, X-Men First Class. I love this stuff, man.
That was a good movie. X-Men First Class.
Great. It's just, boom. We're just gonna go full X-Men. It's gonna be in the 60s. It's gonna be, it's gonna be the closest to the comics we've ever gotten. We're not afraid to do anything this time. We're just making a comic book film. Everybody's gonna love it, and we did love it.
Yeah.
And it has Matthew Vaughn. He directed Kingsman too, by the way. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Although there wasn't a whole lot of popular X-Men in there, but
yeah, it's a really odd team actually. Except it works because you don't know any of them.
It did work. It worked really well.
And that's the purpose.
And I thought it was cool to see a young Charles Xavier and a young Magneto. Or I think that was just really interesting to me.
Yeah, I think what's up? It's the problem is that no one actually remembers anything about that movie besides Magneto and Charles whatsoever.
That's a fair point.
Name one other character.
Mystique.
Yeah, other than that.
Scott Summers' brother.
That's not a name, does it?
Okay.
Yeah, see, you just proved my point. In Apocalypse, spoilers for Apocalypse, by the way, when Alex dies, they expect us to be like this really emotional thing, right? This is a problem with Apocalypse, but, first off, we haven't seen him in like a film. In like a few years. His character was never really expanded upon. He was just kind of always really cocky. Now he has long hair, and a lot of people don't even remember him.
Yeah, well, I think he was in he was in First Class, and then he was in
one scene in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, he was in Days of Future Past briefly.
I actually think that the deleted scenes in X-Men Apocalypse really, really work to the film's favor. Mm-hmm. I think there's definitely stuff that you could just edit out of the final take of the movie. It's a pretty sloppily... It's well edited, actually, except I think to make it a better movie, there's things that you could do with the footage that they have to make it just better. There are scenes that let you spend so much more time with Scott and Alex, more time with the kids. That's good. It works. I feel like I got on a little tangent there. Let's go back to First Class.
So I think that's First Class is all we have time for today.
Yeah.
So overall, First Class, I think, was also a great, like, it was a great way to kick off the new trilogy. You know, just set the foundation for the X-Men pretty much.
It really was. And if I can complain about Apocalypse a bit more, it totally screws the other two. It's supposed to be a finale, but it's also this weird beginning thing. And there's a part of me that always tells me that X-Men Apocalypse is the X-Men movie that I've always wanted. But also I know some of that is just me kind of imagining the movie and me kind of saying that it was a movie I wanted to see, or I saw a movie that I wanted to see instead of the actual movie. There are legitimate problems with Apocalypse, and but I think I can definitely separate my enjoyment of the film from my criticisms with it. We've already talked about this on the show, like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, but it's it's quite a movie to analyze. It's very polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to see where it went wrong and what it did right.
All right.
So
I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you for listening. And
we will be back next week.
From 3 to 4. We tune in every Thursday at 3 to 4 or subscribe to the Watchtower on YouTube.
Yeah, which we upload sometimes.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.